What's up guys, it's Keefe. In today's video, I want to go over what it actually means to get on your purpose and what that looks like. Now before we get into that, if you're a guy who's out there who's looking to improve his life in any way, hit the subscribe button and bell icon. I put out new videos every single day to help guys like you create your ideal lives. So let's get into the video. So guys, I think there's some misconceptions out here. I saw a comment on one of my videos recently asking about like balancing your purpose with other parts of your life. And I think there's a misconception that I wanted to clear up that came from that question, and that is that your purpose is somehow supposed to move everything else out of the way, like that there's literally nothing but purpose, right? And then also there's this idea that your purpose is completely exclusive to whatever you're making money on, right? So it's like got to cut out all this other stuff and focus strictly on purpose, and purpose is sales calls or some shit like that, right? And it's like, that's not how purpose works. Purpose doesn't necessarily have to take up all of your life. The thing with purpose that you need to understand is being on your purpose means making your purpose your top priority. So it's a mindset of purpose, okay? But it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to take up all your time. In fact, when people make something take up all their time at the expense of everything else, usually it's more to gratify their own ego and make themselves feel like they're doing a lot, right? Like sometimes, sure, you're going to have to put in 80 hours. Like it can happen at times. But as a general rule, if you're having to clock like 100 hours a week on your grind, like you're cutting out friends, you're cutting out relationships, all this other stuff, like if you're doing that for extended periods of time and you're doing it from that mindset of I got to make my purpose first rather than more like it's my joy, I'm doing it. If you're doing it from a state of joy, that's okay. But if you're doing it from a state of I got to cut everything else out and lock in on this thing and I'm not allowed to have any fun otherwise, that's not what purpose is about. That's just trying to make yourself feel like you're being really productive. So I can give you an example for this. Like my purpose that I've really been on is getting my YouTube up because I want to go full-time with YouTube and coaching and helping you guys on a more personal level. But at the moment, this is not something that's going to take up 80 hours a week of my life. It takes me about an hour to put out a video, and I am doing some one-on-one coaching now more informally. By the way, if you are interested in getting in on that, I do have a few more spots left for one-on-one coaching, and you can send me an email. My email's in the description box below, and you can just tell me you're interested in coaching. I'll get you some more information about that, but that's just a side note. But anyways, the point is like my purpose here as far as like YouTube and all this goes, it probably takes up like 20-30 hours a week. I got other things I have to do at the time, so it's not like I'm sitting around masturbating like the rest of the week, right? But the point is like purpose is about a mindset of prioritization, okay? And also guys tend to think again that purpose has to do something with money, which purpose generally will have to do with that, but that's not complete. Complete purpose would be like understanding what you want in every area of your life, right? So like if you wanted to be a great father, right? You're not going to get paid to be a great father, but maybe that's part of your purpose. That's what you want to be here for. Or you want to have a great relationship with somebody, but a lot of guys tend to think women get in the way of purpose. But it's because they're not looking at it and realizing that having a great relationship can be a part of your purpose. In fact, it is part of most guys' purposes. We want to have families. We want to have a legacy and reproduce to the next generation. And we want to also have intimate bonds with people. That's a natural thing. So the idea that purpose wouldn't include women is also incorrect. Guys tend to put the women above everything else, though, and that's where the mistake comes in with purpose. But having a clear purpose incorporates everything. And when you get everything into clarity and then you start looking at, all right, what should I do right now to get to this thing? Then you'll start to make the right steps, right? So perhaps like we could do an example. Maybe your purpose is you want to have some specific business and you want to run it and it does a specific thing to help people. I don't know. Maybe I've been using personal training as an example a lot lately. So we'll go with that. We'll say you're really passionate about helping people transform their bodies. So your passion is you want to run some multiple like level marketing business for fitness where you have like clients who work with coaches who are taught by you how to do the coaching. You got supplements, you got gyms, whatever. Like you have this massive thing you're trying to build over here. That's your financial purpose. But along with that, you also want to be a great father. You want to have a great relationship with somebody and you want to build this thing out. You want to be in great shape yourself. You want to have more of a philanthropic impact. Perhaps you're interested in politics and you want to be able to donate or speak or have an impact there. But all these things might be part of your purpose. But you also got to understand, like, okay, from this state, I got to make the right steps, right? So perhaps having a family needs to wait till you've got your finances in order. And perhaps even starting on this big business of yours, part of the purpose is I need to have the funding underneath me from something else before I can do that. And it's like you start to notice, once you get clarity on your entire purpose, what needs to be done at this moment and what you're doing simply to make yourself feel like you're taking a lot of action. So I hope that makes sense, guys, is that if you're clocking in a bunch of busy work and calling it your purpose, you're doing it wrong, right? Like it would be to say, like this would be a good example of what purpose looks like, being on your purpose, and what not being on your purpose looks like. Being on your purpose would be, okay, I get up, I want to be in great shape, I hit the gym, and then I also got this business I'm building, so after I hit the gym, I'm working on the business, but all I need to do for the business takes me about 2 or 3 hours, so after that, I hit up my boys, I hang out with my boys, and I feel good about doing it because I've already been on my crap for the day, and I got everything I needed to get done before I went to the next thing. Not being on your purpose would be like waking up, hitting snooze, go hang out with your friends, smoke a blunt, and then talk about how you want to be in great shape and run a business, but you get around to that later in the evening, your workout's mediocre, you ate like crap, and maybe you put in like 30 minutes towards your business, right? So obviously those are two separate things, but it's like you kind of did almost the same actions. It's just the order and the priorities, right? So it's about purpose isn't necessarily about taking everything else out of your life and acting like nothing but this one singular thing is purpose. Perhaps, I mean, most people's purpose would also be to have a great social life as well, right? So it's about balance, and it's about knowing what to do, what actions to take, which requires mental focus. And most people are kind of mentally lazy when it comes to their purpose. They're more interested in just doing a lot of stuff that makes themselves feel busy rather than getting down to the details and be like, okay, what actually needs to get done today? Because usually it's not really that much. It's just like the next step forward. And sometimes it will be a lot. Like right now I'm working an awful lot. So some days I have to batch my YouTube content. So maybe YouTube ends up taking me like 7 hours in one day to get all the content done, just because I have to do it at one time. So maybe it does take a lot of time in one day, but usually not. Like maybe you just got to do one thing for an hour. But whatever the case may be, guys, purpose is a mindset of prioritizing the things that you want to see come into your life. It's not about removing everything that isn't strictly to do with some business that people have convinced you has to be your purpose. Your purpose might just be to be good at your job, and your purpose has nothing to do with money. Like, that's okay. It's not mine, but that might be yours, right? I mean, it's really just depends, right? Maybe your purpose is you want to like coach your son's baseball league. I mean, that's totally fine. I'm not here to judge anybody, and that wouldn't have anything to do with your money, okay? So the point is, purpose is about clarity, mindset, and prioritization, guys. Hope that makes sense. If you got something out of this video, give me a like so I can reach more guys through the algorithm. Hit the bell icon and subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.